Hi everybody and welcome back to Franklin Cattle Farms. Today on the channel we have a kind of different review today. We have a Howa 1500 mini action in 7.62 by 39 as the host for the thing that we are reviewing today. This is the Riton Optics 1:4 by 24 scope. A fellow by the name of Zach at Ironclad Defense hooked us up with this thing. We actually paid for it. One of the fellow cattlemen wanted to give this brand a try, and well, he gave us a good price on it that we couldn't refuse, and well, here we are doing a review on it because, well, the thing actually does pretty good at what it's supposed to do. So this is a 1:4 by 24 30mm main tube with resettable turrets. The elevation turret has 30 MOA of adjustment per rotation. This is currently sitting in a set of Sig Sauer steel rings, medium height, on an Evolution Gunworks rail, 20 MOA rail, mind you. So this is basically a long-range setup, but it's a 1:4. Now the nice thing about this scope is it's actually a true 1 power, which is kind of strange. It's something I've never dealt with. And looking through it, I can shoulder it here, and I can legitimately see that much of my barrel through the scope. Part of that is to do with the 20 MOA rail, but it's still kind of strange seeing your own barrel in your field of view with a scope. And speaking of field of view, that's one of the detractors of this optic, is the field of view is pretty slim. Not slim, but it certainly doesn't provide you with a humongous field of view. If that's something you're looking for, well, you might want to look into something else. However, it is a 30mm tube, so there's got to be a little bit of leeway in there because it looks like you're looking through a pipe because of the larger tube diameter. Another thing that we're not so fond of here at Franklin Cattle Farms is the adjustment range on the turrets. Not the range, rather, is the graduations. Each one of these turrets is graduated in half MOA adjustments. Now, that's enormous. Some people might say, oh yeah, it's a 1:4, you don't really need precision adjustments. Yeah, who needs quarter MOA adjustments? Well, at 400 yards, a half inch, or a half MOA adjustment is what? 2.5 inches, something of that nature. Just thinking offhand there, but nope. There's a feature of the Howa I'll mention in a minute. But it's a lot of adjustment, and one of the things we were worried about sighting this gun in is getting to the point where we were just bracketing shots. We couldn't get bullseye hits because of the lack of adjustment range in the scope. So we were figuring that we'd see, you know, bullet impacts a half inch to the left and a half inch to the right of the bullseye, not being able to get it zero to our desire. Other than that, this is a really good scope for the money. This thing, I mean, you can find them at various prices, but considering the market and, you know, what other scopes and optics go along with this price range, so optics such as the Leupold Mark AR, Vortex Diamondback, and Crossfire series, kind of sort of in this price range. This thing does really nice. It does pretty good. The optics coatings are a little bit below a Leupold or a Vortex of a similar price category. However, it's very clear and crisp. One thing that I personally do like is the adjustments on this thing are very nice and precise. Even though they're gross adjustments with, you know, a half MOA per click, it does track very well. And that's something that I and the two cattlemen standing behind the camera are very, we like that a lot, because that's what makes the scope work. I don't care how clear it is. If I can't dial in 13 MOA to shoot a target reliably and consistently, it's useless. It's useless. It's utterly useless. I mean, there's no other term for it, unless you're, you know, a deer hunter with your hunting rifle and you take it out once a season and sight it in, and it's okay, and you don't adjust. But if you adjust and it doesn't track consistently, it's a pain. This does track consistently, along with the loopholes and vortexes that we're used to dealing with. I'm a loophole guy, but I like vortex. They work. This also works. So the company's also based in the United States. I mean, as you can see, it's got a pretty sleek design to it. The turrets are locking. You pull up just a little bit like that. You're able to adjust however you please. Push back down, lock down tight. Both the windage and elevation dials have the same feature. You have a fast focus eyepiece on the back here. Seems to work pretty well. And other than that, I can't really complain. I like the thing a lot. It's sitting on a, this is a Howa mini action in 7.62 by 39. This is my personal rifle. I spray painted the stock and customized it a little bit. It's got a standard taper barrel, if you can see that fully in frame. Didn't get the bull barrel. It honestly does real well down range, so just gets a little warm occasionally. One of the features about this rifle that we mentioned in one of our prior reviews that I really don't like all that much is the magazine release. Whoever at Howa thought that was a fantastic idea, I'm not really sure what they were thinking, because as you can see, I don't know if I can demonstrate it here, but you go to push it up against a rest, and there it is, the magazine falls out. So that's kind of a pain. You got to watch that. You have to be aware of it, especially if you're taking a shot at game or something of that nature and take a rest against a log or stick or tree or whatever you name it, and your magazine falls out of the gun. Follow-up shots are going to be kind of difficult. Well, let's take a pause here and set up, and we'll take a few shots down range. We'll do some massive adjustments here back and forth, and make sure the thing tracks okay so you can see it in the video. All right, we're back here. I'm going to load up 5 rounds in the magazine, and we're going to do a little shooting with this thing. So, as some of you guys watching know, here at Franklin Cattle Farms, we have a multitude of ranges to shoot at. We have a 200-yard range, 200-yard target, excuse me, a 300-yard plate, a 450-yard plate, 475-yard plate, and a 500 that is off in the woods somewhere, and the 300 is currently obscured by a tree that needs to get cut down. So today we're going to be shooting at 200, 450, and 475. We're going to load these 5 up and take 2 shots at 200, dial in the dope for 475, take 2 shots, and dial it back to 200, take a couple more shots, and then move out to 350, kind of see how the thing tracks. Today we're shooting 122 grain Tula hollow points. This is some premium match ammo for those of you who don't know. So the accuracy really isn't fantastic. It's good enough to hit the plates, and we're not going for super accuracy today. We're going for tracking ability of the scope and hits on target. I'll be able to tell you if something weird's going on, and you'll know if something weird's going on if I'm not hitting the target. So, allow me a couple misses. This is a 4 power. We'll be shooting at 475 yards on a 1.5 steel target. So, let's see what she'll do. 5 rounds in the magazine. Let's put one in it. We are dialed to 4 power. We'll pick this up, dial in 3 MOA of elevation. And let's see what she'll do. I apologize that you can't see the whole rifle. We're working on getting this framed in, and well, it's a work in progress. So, let's see what she'll do. We've got 2 10-inch AR-500 plates down there. I'm going to aim at one of them, and we'll see what happens. And I missed. There's a hit. Let's do another one just for good measure. There's a hit, dead center. Alright. Let's dial in. 475 is 17 MOA. Pick up on the turret. Dial it in. And let's shoot. There's a hit. And I'm pretty sure that was a hit. If I had more power, I could tell you. Let's load up a few more, and we'll just dial it back and go to 450 yards. Let's see what happens there. 5 more. 450 yards is 14 MOA. Dial that right in. Let's see how she does. There was a hit. Now this Howa, for the most part, is about a 2 MOA gun with this particular ammunition. Honestly, it's always shot pretty well with the cheap stuff. I hadn't honestly grouped it with the the better Hornady stuff or Gecko or any of those other manufacturers. We've just been messing around with it. I bought this thing basically just to cook the barrel out of and just shoot cheap ammo. So she shoots real good for what it is. Hadn't done any load development or match loads or anything like that fancy in it. So realistically, this is real world testing here. I'd never ever shoot at anything living past 200 yards with a 7.62 by 39. But for targets, it's fun. And I'm pretty sure that was a hit. Now let's go back to 200. Dial back in 3 MOA. Go back down. And for those of you who in the comments have said that you're concerned about the downward elevation of our range, just so you know, this is corrected for the elevation. It is range compensated with a fancy loophole rangefinder. So, in reality, that's like 215 yards, but because it's downward, it's compensated, it's 200 yards. Okay, just so we don't get any more of those comments, it'd be real nice. There's a hit. And there's a hit. Oh, heck, we've got another one. Let's go for it. Oh, I pulled it. That was my bad. It's been a long day here at Franklin Cattle Farms. And plus, it's a 4-power. I've been used to shooting a little bit more magnification today. But, all in all, this thing seems to do a fantastic job for the money. And in reality, I took a Nikon, just messing around with this gun. I had a Nikon P223 on it. Wrong scope, wrong application in all reality, but just messing around. And the Nikon, well, it wasn't so hot. This thing tracks real well. Nikon wasn't tracking. I can't complain. I like it. Seems like a good optic, and for those of you who need an affordable tactical optic on a truck gun, hog gun, you name it, this thing will get the job done at an affordable cost, and well, frankly, I can't complain. I like it. And you'll ask the cattleman behind the camera, I'm pretty picky when it comes to optics. I like this thing. If you like this video, maybe subscribe, like the video. Thanks a bunch, and join us next time on Franklin Cattle Farms.